Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take a stack of sources, pull them apart, and give you the knowledge you need. Today, we're diving into a big one, Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita. It's, well, incredibly influential, but also deeply controversial. Our mission here is really to unpack this complex novel. We want to look at its literary genius, but also face those really tough ethical questions it raises. And everything we discuss comes straight from our source materials. So Vladimir Nabokov, an amazing writer, right? Often quite enigmatic. He published Lolita back in 1955. He had this incredibly distinct style, very precise with language, almost like a surgeon, full of wordplay. Think about like his use of alliteration, nymphet. It sounds musical, but it's also, well, it mirrors the narrator's unsettling obsession, doesn't it? This kind of beautiful writing about dark themes. It creates this really weird, unsettling feeling. Makes the awful seem almost appealing. And that's, I think, where the ethical problem really hits you.
It really is. And, Lolita just stands out so much in literary history. Yes, the subject matter was and is audacious, definitely. But it's Nabokov's sheer skill with language, his command. That's what puts it firmly in the literary canon, I think. And even now, decades later, that tension between the subject and the style, it keeps sparking debate, intense debate, really.
Absolutely. And given how intricate Nabokov's writing is, maybe the best way in for anyone unfamiliar is just a quick plot outline, spoiler-free, naturally. So the story centers on Humbert Humbert. He's this middle-aged European academic and emigre, and he develops this obsessive infatuation with Dolores Haze. She's 12. He nicknames her Lolita. Now, the really crucial thing to grasp, whether you're reading it or just, thinking about it, is that the entire story is told by Humbert. He's what we call an unreliable narrator. Deeply manipulative, too.
Yeah, unreliable is key here. It means you just can't take his word for anything, really. His own biases, his delusions, his constant trying to make himself look better. It shapes every single word you read. So you, the reader, you have to constantly work to see past his version of things, try and figure out what might have actually happened.
It's quite demanding on the reader, isn't it?
Definitely. And zooming out a bit, it's the interactions between the characters that really drive those unsettling themes home. So obviously there's Humbert and Lolita Dolores, but then you have Charlotte Haze, who's Lolita's mother. She kind of tragically becomes Humbert's pawn, really. He uses her, and that sort of sets the whole horrible chain of events in motion.
Right. She enables him without realizing it.
Exactly. And then there's Claire Quilty. He's this other shadowy figure who pops up. Quilty acts almost like a weird, distorted mirror image of Humbert later on, makes things even more complicated and, frankly, quite bizarre. The relationships just highlight all these themes: obsession, manipulation, morality, or the lack of it.
That really is the core tension, isn't it? You've got this incredibly beautiful, almost dazzling writing set against this profoundly dark, uncomfortable subject matter. How does Nabokov even manage that? How does he hold those two things together? And maybe more importantly, what does that do to us as readers when we encounter it?
Okay, so as we start to wrap up this deep dive into Lolita, hopefully we've managed to show some of those complex layers. You've got the undeniable literary brilliance right alongside these really deep ethical challenges.
Yeah.
It's just such a stark example of that interplay between, beautiful language and a truly dark subject.
And that brings us to something really important, I think. Lolita, it works almost like a case study, doesn't it? A tough one, but still. For thinking about things we grapple with today, like consent, or how a narrator's bias shapes a story narrative bias.
That's a great point. It really highlights why it's sometimes important for literature, for art, to tackle uncomfortable stuff, even when it makes us, really squirm. Understanding why books like this exist and what they might reflect about, well, the darker sides of human experience, that feels pretty crucial for us as readers, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this journey into what is undoubtedly a powerful and polarizing novel. We really hope you continue to think about that tension, that line between artistic achievement and moral responsibility. It's not an easy one.
No, it isn't. And maybe that leaves you with a final question to mull over. If these uncomfortable truths, even the really disturbing ones, are part of the human condition, what responsibility do we have as readers to engage with them through art? And what new understanding, what new perspectives might that kind of confrontation actually unlock for you?